Hey, and welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. I'm Serena Shoup, CPA, a mom of three, and I've been running a virtual bookkeeping business from my home since 2017. You are in the right place if you are a bookkeeper, accountant, or an accounting student, and you believe and know in your heart that your purpose is bigger than sitting in a cubicle. If you're ready to learn some actionable tips and strategies for starting and growing your accounting business, then I hope you stick around. Welcome back to the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. And welcome back, Sharon. I'm so excited to have you back on the podcast. I was trying to look at the last time we recorded and I can't find it. So we'll have to link that episode in the show notes, but welcome back.
Hi, so good to be back. I'm so excited to be here again.
Good.
How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing well. So last time I had you on, we talked a little bit about self-care and all that kind of stuff, which would you like to share an update?
Yeah. So basically last time we spoke, that was right around like a difference of a week or two from when I got diagnosed with cancer. I got diagnosed with multiple myeloma. Wasn't sure I was able to do that podcast recording. Remember? I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
And we winged it. We went through it. So we're almost celebrating my first year cancerversary. So it's been a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Last time I came on, I came as the mindset mama coach that I do. And I can tell you that through this journey, it just enhanced everything I do, because in order to heal and recover, I needed to go through all the steps that I teach women myself. So it was a crazy journey. It was just wild, honestly. You don't know how in one day you think everything's fine and something just comes up and surprises you and shifts your whole world around.
Yeah.
I remember it was just a lot of weight loss and pain and things that I was used to, not the weight loss, I wasn't used to living with that, but I was used to living with, after being a mom, things from birth, and okay, my hips kind of hurt. It's probably from birth, and my joints are kind of this, and it's probably, we're used to not paying attention to so many different things that go on with us as parents, as mothers, and especially for those mompreneurs out there that are trying to hustle the world together. There is no time to pay attention to a scratch on your leg or a little pain in the knee or in the joints or a headache. You just take a pill and move on with your day.
Especially when those symptoms start to pile on like very slowly.
Right.
And then we're also everyone's aging, right? Like no
Right.
matter what age you are, you're aging. So you just chalk it up to that.
Exactly. You chalk it up to, it's the age, it's the whatever it is. Like, and suddenly that weight loss, which was something that I did not have, I thought I was manifesting it. I was like really focused on being healthy. I was doing all my manifestation works, and suddenly I was like, wow, I lost a pound. That is amazing. I didn't even have effort. And then I lost another, and then I lost 2, 3. And then from week to week, I just ended up losing close to 25 pounds, I think, within 2.5 months.
Did you even have that much to lose?
Oh, I did. I did.
I met you at the end of that. So
yeah. No, you met me, and now I am 20 pounds less than what you met me a year ago.
Wow.
So it's, yeah. So I guess I had more to take off. But and from one meeting with the doctor to the next, which was in a week difference, I lost 3 pounds. So it was like it reached a point that I couldn't not like shut my eyes anymore and not pay attention. And I want to say a very important thing to everyone that's listening now. The reason I went to the doctor was not bravo, how amazing, great thing you caught it on time. No, I went to the doctor because my parents, I'm a 45-year-old woman, but my parents were on my case and forced me to go. My parents and my sister were really like, you got to check this out. And I did it to quiet them. And another amazing epiphany that I had, and luck or synchronicity, or however you want to call it, a week before that second appointment that I had with my doctor, a friend spoke to me and she said, look, I know you, and whatever the doctor's going to say, you're going to be like, oh, okay, and be nice and everything. I am preparing you now. You must be your own advocate. You have to be your own advocate. And I went there into that meeting so prepped and so pumped up to be my own advocate. And when she said, yeah, we did all the testings, I said, no, I want more. I need more. And for the first time, I saw my doctor sitting at the computer as if she's cornered. And I was not scaring her, but I saw her scared. I saw her like, I don't know what else to give you. I don't know what else to do. You have an appointment with the hematologist in 3 weeks. It'll be fine. I said, no, I'm going to the hematologist with all other tests that you can find that she may give me. And I'm not going to wait to do, because I need to get it done now. I've lost 3 pounds in a half a week since I saw you last. And thank God, thank God, thank God for that friend that prepped me. And thank God for sending her to that test. That test was one of those, check the kappa light chains, which is a protein. It's a type of cancer that I have. It checked that protein in the urine, and it was supposed to be between 7 to 11, and the number was on 933. That was the result that I got. And you start writing your doctor, and it's out of her realm. She doesn't answer. You get a test result like that, and the doctors can't answer you until you move on to the next doctor. I can tell you that Google told me that I have 2 years to live, and those are things you don't do. So if anyone's listening, do not go to Dr. Google ever. Never, ever, ever.
Nope.
And when I reached the hematologist, I sent a message to a friend who had a friend that was a hematologist oncologist, and she was on her way to see her anyway. Like, everything just worked out, because if not, I would not be here today in a freaky, scary way, because I wrote that friend, and that doctor that she went to said she needs to be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. And the next morning, she said, you can't barely wait a week to start treatment. You definitely can't wait 3 weeks to see a hematologist. And she did biopsy in the moment, and that's it. And the rest was history. She said, when we left her, she said, look, to me and my husband, you don't have a diagnosis. I don't have a diagnosis. I want you to leave here knowing that we still have a week or two to see the diagnosis. Of course, when we left there, knowing that it probably is a form of cancer, it broke us down. And then my husband snapped out of it, and he's like, look, I heard her say, we don't have a diagnosis. Let's live in a bubble until she says, let's live in denial so we can swallow that frog for a moment. And I said, okay, great. We shook hands. We're living in denial. And after 2 days, the denial was over, and I had to start treatment right away. I had a week to think about it. That week put that number up to 1,300. It was on 1,277 or something. So it increased by 30% within a week, my cancer. At the stage that they found it, it was 95% of my bone marrow, with 4 abnormalities, that 3 of them are at high risk, meaning it'll keep coming back. I still don't know how to live with that part of the diagnosis. I can tell you my journey was from moving to, I don't know what to do, to snapping out of it and taking all the rituals and all the teachings and all the learnings that I had in the past decade. If it's mostly mindset, I knew I needed to fix how I see myself, the world, and this diagnosis. I know I needed to notice the good things in my life, because I know that gratitude takes away fear. So I knew that I needed to give a lot of gratitude so I wouldn't live in fear. I knew I needed water. And I just recently, a friend read a book about the properties of water and how it's a living thing and how music affects water, the everything of water. It's
Yeah, the
unbelievable,
energy. Yeah.
the energy of the water. So I started doing the sound healing at night with the frequency, honestly, a little bit before I was diagnosed, because me and my husband weren't sleeping. So we put on the 432 hertz, slept like a baby. But when I did that, suddenly I had my water and I said, water, absorb this healing frequency and heal me. It was a challenge to brainwash myself, basically.
Yeah.
Every thought I had became intentional. Every moment was trying to focus more and more on the present and what I'm doing at the moment in order to not fear the future and what's coming on to me. And I feel that those things that I did and staying in that mindfulness and that intentional living in the present moment allowed me to take away a lot of those negative feelings and allow my body to heal. After they told me that they're not sure that I would get clean and be in remission if I don't do the chemo and the stem cell therapy transplant, sorry. And I knew that I have a big conflict with chemotherapy, an inner conflict with chemotherapy. So my goal was not to do it. And they said, look, we don't know if you're going to be clean within, you can either react very well. I could tell you that I told them, look, if there is 1% that did it, I'm going to do it too, because I can't do the chemo. I can't do something that I'm conflicted with. Within 6 weeks, I was back in the normal range. They didn't believe it. After 4 weeks, my 1300 number went down to 200. And after 6 weeks, I was within the range, almost within the range of the 9 to 11. I think I was on 18 or 19 or something like that. And the doctor said, look, we don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, just keep doing it because it's working. So it's great. And I could tell you it wasn't just that. I had healers and like I did a whole bunch. I'm not going to keep everyone bored with that, but I did a whole bunch of different practices and I didn't know which one worked. So I just did everything and
Yeah.
continued.
That's when it makes sense to throw spaghetti at the wall.
Right. Exactly.
You don't have time to test things out.
Right. After 6 months, I did a deal with the doctor. I was like, look, give me one more cycle. She's like, you need at least 6 cycles. I said, give me those 2 more cycles. And if I'm clean, I'm not doing the chemo. And she said, that's the only way I would not let you do the chemo. And I was completely in remission, which was for them amazing, for me a victory, because I did not need to go through that. I know it's still on the table, but as of now, it's not relevant. So I feel like this journey is a victory, and I feel like it enhanced my purpose and it enhanced my journey and the work that I do with women and with mamas. And I also work with women with cancer today. And during the time that I was in treatment and I could not work one-on-one with women, I created a mama journal, which has a lot of the practices that I did. It's called Living a Happy and Balanced Mama Life. And I would love it inside. Let me just share a moment what's inside.
Yeah, please.
So inside you have in the beginning a self-assessment, and basically you could do the wheel of life and see where you are today. So before you start the journal, you kind of get an evaluation of where you are. After that, you have 6 months. Each month they're undated, and you can choose like to use it for a month, put it down, and then take it whenever you need it. Within the month, it starts with a blog, and then you have a monthly plan, a weekly plan with to-do lists, and then each day has 2 pages with different prompts. And the prompts are basically, you have an affirmation for the day, you have a mindfulness activity for the day, the intention. I told you I do everything with intention today. So when I make my coffee, for example, I spell my coffee. I may have even mentioned it in our previous podcast because it's something I've been doing for a long time. I spell my coffee with the intention of the day. So sometimes it will be ease, and sometimes it's patience, and sometimes it's remember to breathe, whatever it is for that day. And I just put it in my coffee, think about it when I'm mixing it. And while I'm drinking it, I imagine it being absorbed in my body, in my cells, and walking me through the day. So the first prompt is, what intention will you spell your coffee with today? And then the aha moments of the day, time to pause and reflect, little bit of gratitude, little bit of letting go, different practices that are crucial for us. And I believe that after doing it for a month, it's a way to affirm those habits.
And slowing down.
Right,
I
exactly.
find that's like the hardest thing for a lot of us, like high achievers, is to take the time to do stuff like that because it sounds and seems like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It seems
Like, I
so
don't have time for this.
far-fetched. Exactly. That's why there's the prompts, and that's why you have just a line.
You don't have to think about it as much because it's all laid
Exactly.
out for you.
Exactly. The whole thing, it's like a 2-page thing, but the whole thing is like a 5-minute process of you paying attention to you.
Yeah.
It's you giving a moment of, okay, how many water cups did you drink today? First day, you're going to say, I have no idea. Right? The second day, you're going to be like, whoa, I think I drank 4.
Mhm.
Third day, maybe you'll start keeping track. Maybe after that, you'll start getting the habit of paying attention to more water. The things are tiny. They're not, I believe in baby steps into moving into our goals.
Me too.
The idea of how many cups of water is not, we always feel like we have someone with a whip. Oh, you don't know how many cups of water? I'm like, how is that? It's such a bad person. I don't know how many cups of water I drink. No, it's a realization. It's an awareness of, ooh, I don't even know if I gave my body water, right? We wouldn't say that about our car. Ooh, how long has it been since I gave it gas, right? We
No, we are
drive
lucky
it.
we have a gauge. We don't have a gauge on
Exactly.
our body.
But we do. The gauge in our body, once we drink enough water, we become more aware of that natural gauge that we have. We become more aware of that headache that comes to mark, hey, you're really dehydrated. And not just, ooh, I have a headache, probably caffeine, I need a little bit of water. You know what I mean? Like we go and just take an Advil, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I just suffer through it.
right, right. So it's just like little reminders of, for example, how did you show up for you today? And maybe the first day you're just going to leave it blank and write a question mark and be like, I have no idea how I showed up for me today. Right?
Yeah.
But maybe thinking about that every single day will make you start thinking, how did I show up for me today? Especially all you mamas out there. How did you show up for you today? I want to stress and say from the bottom of my heart, we don't need to reach where I've reached in order to start paying attention and taking care of ourselves. I reached a really bad place. I am lucky that I don't have lesions all over my bones and that I'm still here after a year and I'm still clean. We do not, let me say it again, we don't need to go to extremes in order to start taking care of ourselves. I understand today that it's not a question if I want or don't want. I understand it's a purpose and it's something I have to do. I must do. I want to tell all you mamas, please give yourself attention. Please give yourself care. Please pay attention to where you are, what you're doing. Acknowledge yourself, acknowledge your worth. We go to places sometimes we don't even know what color we like anymore. We don't know what song we like besides listening to Coco Melon at a certain stage in our kids' life, right? Like, what song? What new song? I know Coco Melon, or, there's so many different things that we lose who we are completely. And I'm urged today to tell everyone, please pay attention to you. please give yourself those 5 minutes to fill out this journal. And yes, it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. And it's a moment for you to take care of yourself and to pay attention to your thoughts and to get clarity on where you are and what you still need. And another thing I'm saying, I'm here. If anybody needs to reach out, wants to reach out, I'm here to help. So I'd like to do a giveaway. Anyone who'd like to sign up for that giveaway can download the Mompreneur's Guide to Mastering Your Inner Dialogue. Once you sign that in, mark that you came from Serena's podcast, and you will enter a giveaway, and I will send you the person that we raffle off will receive this journal, and I will send it out to you.
Yeah, I have a copy of the journal and it's beautiful. I have some questions about it because
I'm here
I
to
know who
answer.
my audience is too. So I'm like, I'm asking for myself and for my audience.
Yes,
Is the
please.
journal something that you recommend? Everyone, not everyone that listens, but a good chunk of us who listen we like a good, instructions and a step by step. So the journal it's like also a daily planner, correct? So would you recommend sitting down each morning to fill out the journal or in the evening or both? How is it intended to be used?
What I would do is when I get the journal, I would read the beginning, the intro. I put a lot of love in there as well. And it says, there's a page that says how to maximize the living happy and balanced mom working journal. It has explanation about the self-assessment, about the wheel of life, about the monthly goal setting, and the self-care ideas and suggestions. The weekly goals that are there, you'll see it has like a more of a to-do list. It's not like those planners if you're looking for an appointment book. It's not like that. So it's more of you paying attention to you. So hopefully what you write there would be in reference to you and not your business.
Mm-hmm.
It's your sacred space. In the first page, you see it says here, kids don't touch. This is
Yeah,
mama's
I
space.
liked that.
So
That is something that I've gotten way more like protective over the things that I buy for myself. I used to just share everything with my kids, my new pens, my highlighters, my markers, and my colored pencils. And now it's like, no, this is mine. I have to give you permission and invite you to like use my things and write in my notebooks and stuff.
right. But it's not okay. We feel weird sometimes as moms doing that because we're
Mhm.
like, what's the matter? It's a pen, or why are we making a big deal? But those things are also setting our kids up for success because our kids need to know these things when they go out into the real world. And our family structure is just a reflection of what they're going to get outside. So if the way they treat their parents is the way they're going to treat people that they need to respect or are in charge of them at work or their bosses or
Yeah.
things like that, and the way they treat their siblings is the way they're going to treat their peers, their coworkers, and
Yeah.
so yeah, we're setting them up for success. It's a very good thing what you're doing.
Teaching them boundaries. That's
Yeah.
not something that I had growing up. And then it's like if there's no boundaries among your family members in your household, then your kids are going to go out into the world and not have boundaries with anyone else.
Right.
So,
Which can hurt them
mhm.
and the others, and mostly them. And so I would say in the evening, and maybe set up the things for the morning, because there are prompts there for the morning.
Mhm.
I just know that some people are more, I have a friend that does it every morning, and I have a friend that does it every evening. So that's why it's hard for me to
Yeah.
answer.
Depends on the person, but it's good for
Exactly.
both. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
good for both. I think because of the fact that they have like aha moment of the day, or there's inhale the good SH star T. I don't know if you have kids listening. So what are you grateful for? And exhale the bull, the BS
Mhm.
is let it out, and anything you need to empty out and let go of so you don't move on your day with. So those parts are like, for example, at night, just like mentioning an incident that stuck with you all day, like someone cut me off and it really pissed me off. So great, write that down. and make peace with that person. And because when we're making peace with someone, we need to understand that the person doesn't even need to be there. We're making peace with ourselves.
Yeah.
We're allowing ourselves to let go of something that's frustrating us. We are allowing ourselves to move on. We're allowing ourselves to forgive in order to just understand that that's not what's supposed to rule our world or our day that day.
That lesson took me a really long time to learn, that forgiveness
Yes.
doesn't mean that you're absolving someone of what they've done or anything like that. It's more of a release for yourself to be able to move on and move
I
forward.
could tell you my generation, most of us are trauma based. I mean, we've all had traumas in our lives, and we grew up in well, just look at the 1978, 1985 movies, and you'll see really quick. I saw Rocky with my kids the other day, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So there are things that were allowed back then that are not allowed today, and we're still carrying them, and they're not ours, and they're not relevant for us, and they're controlling our lives, and they're putting a stop to ours. And the only reason is we're so afraid to forgive and let go because it's not okay, things that went on. But on the other hand, we're just hurting ourselves. So forgiving and let go is just like we can let the people move on from our lives, basically, and
That's what I
differentiating.
really love about EMDR therapy, is it
Yes.
really helps with that process, because it's like it's in your brain and your body, and you can just release it without having to really talk about it.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It's an amazing technique. Amazing technique. So there will be a link, I guess, right?
Yeah, we'll put a link in the show notes to this episode, and the giveaway will begin when this episode goes live. So if you're listening to this, you can grab that link, download it's a free ebook, correct?
Yes. It's
And
free.
then that will give you a lot of amazing insights and information and help in that book, for one, but for two, we'll enter you into the drawing for this journal. Or of course, you can always buy the journal, and so we'll drop the link to that as well. And yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
And thank you
awesome.
so much. And whoever wants to continue and be in touch, there's my Facebook group, Happy Bounce Mom, and you can find me on Instagram. I'm here to help. Please feel free to reach out with anything.
Yeah.
I'd love to help.
Thank you so much again for your time. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. This
Thank you,
time the audience
Serena.
got to hear our little chat. So yeah, I'm so glad we connected again.
Same here. Take care. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shoup. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian, using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout, and you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.